Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
C'est au-dessus de moi, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas loupé nous. Quand il y a Sylvie, il y a quoi qui j'ai loupé presque. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé, t'as bien de moi avec moi, nous deux. En ce moment, on va battre au moins, on t'a dit, t'as mouillé, on s'est battu pour moi, il pleure. Abela loke yo. Kago so duro. Hey. Awaye. Ati oro a. Ìyàwó Abela loke yo. Níbi tó jọba yìí, níbi tó yànba, máa ti sì mọ̀ pé yo. Mọ́lájà jíjí, wọ́n pè sàmẹ́ fọ́ sí o, sí ti kọ́lẹ̀. L'animateur Choco Noska Yasen de Toyebi, l'homme a tout fait pour Mivito, Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in a country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in this evening. We say thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Why my stuff so loud in it? Hey, they told man, you let trouble. Thank you, folks. Share this video. Share as much as possible. Share it to as many people as possible. We're here again this evening. I want to make sure that we all come together and have a conversation with whatever is happening in Liberia. Share this video, please share this video. Share it to as many people as you can so that they will be part of the conversation this evening. Thank you for joining us this wonderful Monday afternoon, Liberian Public Radio again. We will be discussing the ongoing saga at the Capitol building, of course. Things are getting interesting. Those of us that were here yelling and taking the high line, I think we need to think twice about it. Things are getting interesting. And those of us that like the rule, the law, and respect the rule of law of the Republic of Liberia need to think twice about it as well, because things are getting out of hand and getting interesting. So thank you for joining us. Please share this video to as many people as you can. Let me do safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening. Thank you for bringing us here again. Because of you, we are here. We ask that you continue to be in our life. We ask that you give us long life. Give us the strength to go to work. Give us the strength to do whatever we have to do for our family, for friends, brothers, and everyone else. We ask you, my Lord, help us out. Guide us. We thank you for everything. Because of you, we are here. Because of the position you have on us, we are here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the fact that no one else on earth has this kind of thing on us except you. And we believe in you. And we know that you are the only person that you don't disappoint. You're the only person we can count on fully and trust. With the faith we have in you, we will be successful. Thank you. Thank you for that kind of confidence that you have in us as well. We will do what we have to do in your name, and we'll continue to pray to you. My Lord, we're praying again tonight that the Republic of Liberia and its people of the Republic of Liberia be blessed. We ask that you bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. My Lord, we ask that you bless the president of the Republic of Liberia. Give him long life. Bless his hand. Whatever he touches in the interest of the Liberian people. In the name of the Liberian people, that you bless his hand. Let him do what he have to do to make sure that Liberians and all over Liberia, that they bless him pour. We want to thank you for that. We want to thank you. Those brothers and sisters that are traveling tonight, we put them in your hand. Those brothers and sisters all over the world, we put them in your hand. Your hand is so great and so big that all of us can fit in it. My Lord, we ask you to keep us stay in your hand. Thank you. Thank you. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, folks, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Share this video to as many people as possible. We're going to do this here. We're going to do this list on this wonderful Monday afternoon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the issue with Flanti Kofa, Speaker Flanti Kofa, and the other lawmakers is getting interesting. The Supreme Court have gotten involved. Supreme Court was invited by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Supreme Court did not go into these people's houses to get involved. They were invited by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. However, the Constitution that we all abide by, the Constitution that allows us to respect each other and respect the rule of law, state clearly separation of power. And all three branches of government has their own function, and based on their functionality, they were given certain rights. So the question for me tonight is, they are accusing the lawmakers who want Flanti out, who want Speaker Kofa out, are accusing the judiciary of meddling into their business. How true is that? How true is that? They were invited by Flanti Kofa to interpret part of the Constitution that is not too clear. And so if the law, this is getting interesting. Because on one hand, I'm saying to myself that yes, indeed, the Supreme Court has no business getting involved. However, the Supreme Court did not go knocking to the door of the House of Representatives. They were invited by Flanti Kofa to say, please help us interpret the law. There are certain rules, there are certain law here that some of us are now going by. Is it correct? Because the Supreme Court, the judiciary's responsibility is to interpret the law based on the Constitution, to interpret the Constitution. Simple. So if Flanti Kofa felt that these people are violating some aspect of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, where do you want him to go? Come to town, Samson from town? No. Do you want him to go to town and complain? No. Where you want him to go? He has to go to the Supreme Court and present his case. And if the Supreme Court feel that perhaps they have some responsibility to have some sort of an input. Yeah. We'll do quarter when you call to now later until you get time, man. You're not even start massive sedition against. In fact, I'll call you the most independent sedition now. I like your comment you made here tonight. That's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. Thank you. But anyhow, let me go. So the Supreme Court were invited They didn't intrude themselves into these people's business. Flanty Kofa, speak of Flanty Kofa. Hey, that young man is brilliant. It's brilliant. The brilliance is coming up. He's not fighting with them. So he has gone to the Supreme Court and say that we have a rule, we have a law that I believe, he said, I believe that is being violated by some members of the House of Representatives. Can you help us and do your job and interpret this law? And if I'm wrong to think the way I'm thinking, please state so. These people, they got problem. The opposition that want Flanty Kofa, they're not thinking logically. They are not. They have serious issues. The same way they went about trying to bring this whole fiasco up, it's the same thing they're doing again. By refusing to accept the Supreme Court. To accept the Supreme Court to come and interpret the law. And when you do that, you see, these people, they're not serious. For me, they're not serious, folks. If I was their leader, the Supreme Court will not be a launching pad for us because they started a fiasco. It's not going well for them. They don't have 49 because 2/3 of 73, I think 73, is about 58.666. So 48.666, 49 would do. Okay. Since they don't have the number, there are some people in the House of Representatives that are supporting, well, not necessarily supporting Flanty Kofa, but they are supporting the rule. They are supporting the law. That their colleagues, they believe their colleagues are not respecting the rule. So if they want to move Flanty Kofa because they have listed some issues, legitimate concern, nobody dismissing those concerns at all. So Flanty Kofa, to be honest with you, he's my friend. But if these people were to follow the rule, Flanty Kofa would be in trouble. There's no question asked. Because if you're a speaker, deputy speaker, whatever it is, you know people are going to a hotel to do things that are not right by the law, and you sit there. People going, and you're coming on national radio to say these people go in there and they negotiate with the minister, and you come back again and say, the reason why I gave them the 100,000 because I don't want them to fleet down the ministers. And my goodness. So I believe the only thing that holding Flanty Kofa up right now is the rule, the law, the Constitution. So if the Supreme Court put a stay on whatever activities they carry on, if they refuse to abide by the Supreme Court, you are now challenging the operational activities of another branch. You see where this thing going? You're not only denying the right of Flanty Kofa and his people, the speaker and his people, to be told that, in fact, they were wrong in thinking the way they're thinking. You doing your stuff. You say you want Flanty Kofa up. And you're not doing it because you're a rebel, as people are calling you. You're not doing it because you believe you just want to have fun with that. You believe there's certain rule that Flanty Kofa have violated. So the Supreme Court, who have responsibility in the entire republic, their job is to interpret the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Their job is to interpret the rule of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, the law that governs all of us as Liberians. But you want to challenge them. Because if you challenge them, you're telling them you have no job. You are unable to govern yourselves. You are unable to interpret the law. You don't believe in the Supreme Court in the judiciary to interpret the law. And if you disguise the ability to interpret the law, but you want them and you want people to respect what you're doing because you say you are entitled, you are sovereign, you are whatever it is you call yourself. This thing is getting interesting. Those of us that call ourselves political junkie and political gurus and whatever folks, this is why we say, thank God we're still alive. If you're a political junkie and you like politics, you'll enjoy yourself. This is almost like a football, like what's in Super Bowl. This is a Super Bowl confusion, of course, but it's like Super Bowl. To my ears, to my eyes, it's like a Super Bowl. I sit back and enjoy because I know they're not going to fight. They're not going to go killing each other. It is how you build institution. For me, as a liberal, I enjoy myself on these kinds of things because whatever way they turn out, a president will be set. A constitution will be interpreted properly. And when the president is set, that helps to build the institution. Because anytime you come back on this, people will say, but this is, they've been making reference to Honorable Edwin Snow and Honorable Tyler, your case. So if you come out, let me bring in Jerry here while I'm going on my tabrata. Jerry, good evening. I'll soon be coming to you. And when you do these things, you allow the Supreme Court to come and interpret the rules. The Supreme Court will allow you to express yourself. Francisco Kofa believe that you and your group are violating the Supreme Court rules. I mean, the law. Okay? That you are violating the law. So what the Francisco, like I told you guys, the Francisco Kofa is too smart. Blue, he run to the court. He didn't come to argue with you. He ran to the court. He went there and said, Your Honor, I believe that as a speaker of the House of Representatives, my right as a speaker is being violated. You please step in. You come in, and now, if Francisco have not gone there, and these people put themselves, then we can say that ain't your business. But the speaker, the speaker, elected speaker of the House of Representatives, call them, invite them. It's like I said, I invite somebody in my house. That my children say, what you want? I invited that person. When somebody walk in the house, then I can say what you want. So for you to come back now and say you're not going to obey the Supreme Court rule, I mean, Supreme Court comment or their interjection, it's wrong. You're putting yourself in hot water more and more. And you're making Francisco Kaka smell sweet. You're making Francisco to look like a giant, to look like a hero. Because all of your issues you listed, those are legitimate points. You just don't have the number. That's fine. Even if you don't have the number and this thing going to go away, use the Supreme Court to get your voice to the Liberian people. That you were not doing it just because of the money. That you were not doing it because you want to make trouble. That you were not doing it because they call you rebel or what have you. Supreme Court comes in and they will ask question, what happened? They will first ask Francisco, what are the rules you said people violating? Francisco are going to come and list the rule. And then they will ask you, are you violating these? And you express yourself. That's how people engage. Let me bring Jerry here. Jerry, that's my tabata tonight. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind? What is your own things you want to talk about?
Well, today is Monday. Thank God to be back. I've been asking for a couple of days. I've been busy. I've been down, but anyway, I'm back. Let's say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening to us. Thanks for here, everybody. Okay. Well, opinions have been heard, and yesterday the rule of law prevailed. You might not like. Who famous coach? Josiah Johnson. The former coach for Lone Star. He said once, football is like a brisket. The play you hold it, you can't break there. It's anything but law. Law is propagated. Law is propagated. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. No, that's not what law is all about. Law is propagated. Having said that, in order for the country to function, we must have rule of law. You might not agree with what the law would say or what the code would say, but that is the rule. Let's go back to 1999 or 98 or something like that. Al Gore versus George Bush in this country. And the Supreme Court said, Al Gore, he lost the election. Al Gore said, okay, as a citizen of the nation, okay, the Supreme Court has spoken. So it's the same thing. As much as not like what's going on, but the Supreme Court perspective, you as a sitting representative, and you call me as a minister of justice to appear before your honorable body, and I say I'm not going to come. That what that show? I mean, I just want to put in a layman term. What that show? So go to the Supreme Court and listen what they have to say. You as a sitting body. That's why we have 3 branches of government. In fact, you as a representative, you have more right. You can call any member of the sitting body for them to appear before you, comparing to there's among you. And Liberia, the only way power in Liberia is a rule of law. And we all begin to understand the rule of law, we begin to respect the rule of law, and we'll make a lot of progress. But so long we not understand that, let me say this in a nutshell. Everybody in Liberia, they are lawyers. When time for them to court, they can't go plead before the court. That's the interesting part. If you say, oh, if I were you, I would do this, I would do this. But when pull comes to shove, okay, they can't prevail in the court. They can't even go to the courthouse, but they will sit on the bench and do, what is it, top out or tabata. But the interesting part is, last year, and Tuesday, tomorrow, the other party say they're going to be there, and let's see how it work out tomorrow. So it is stay soon to say, you know what, maybe they will have some change your mind and go to the Supreme Court, or the Supreme Court, or the judge in Chima, and see, because it's not the whole Supreme Court you go into, it's the judge in Chima, they call it there. So let's see what happens.
Thank you, Jerry. And I also said they're gonna meet tomorrow. But if these guys that want to remove Lantikofa, they have a legitimate reason now, mind you, from whatever they've been listing, they're legitimate reason. You know, but I think if they don't know how to handle this, they might find themselves being egged tomorrow in the face. In their faces, the egg going to be blowing all over the place because the Supreme Court, okay, the Supreme Court, if you're going to accuse the Supreme Court of meddling into your business, it's one reason if they come in and say, we don't think that's the right thing you're doing. And it's another thing for them to be invited. Not only just a member of the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House of Representatives have invited them to say there are rules that are being violated, constitutions being violated. Can you interpret what we think the Constitution, the violation is? If it is not, please state so. So if the Supreme Court, it doesn't matter what you think about them. You're claiming to be sovereign. You're claiming to be an institution that does business by itself. You're able to govern yourself. We agree with it. But at the same time, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, its function, only function is to interpret the law of the Republic of Liberia. That's it's the good enough function of the Supreme Court. So if they are getting involved, first they were invited. It is their job to make sure the rule of law prevails. So if they say we're gonna put a stare and we want you guys to come and explain yourself, perhaps you can say, you know what, we're not gonna go there. You guys come to us. We have our rules. We have. If you think we violated the Constitution, we're not going to stay. We're not going to come to your office. You come to us. They can say that. I think. However, if you want to be a law-abiding citizen, and I've got to be very careful of that, because if they walk from their Capitol building and go to the Supreme Court to have their case adjudicated, they are also setting the precedent. So I think, for me, because they're all equal branch. So if a branch has an issue which have to do with Constitution, and the judiciary want to do their function, I think they, instead of inviting them, you can ask them to present their case through the writing, and you read the oral response from them, than to say, leave your house and come to us. That part I don't agree with. You can. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a common sense person. So
Yeah,
instead of saying you come to us, which now you are moving the entire Capitol building, because they represent the Capitol building. By you asking them to come to you, you are moving the entire Capitol building to the judiciary, making the judiciary supreme, which I don't believe should happen. You can ask them that, okay, we have a case here. The Supreme, I mean, the the Speaker of the House of Representatives has submitted a complaint that the Constitution has been violated. Flantikofa, and you guys that want Flantikofa out, submit your case and submit your argument and counter argument. And then they submit those arguments, give it to the clerk. The clerk present it to the person, the chief clerk, or whatever they call him. And then you go through those arguments, writing, or written argument. But to say that they have to close their offices, to say you close your office and come to me, I as a liberal, I don't see this happening. I don't see this happening. So the best thing, and I also don't want the Supreme Court to close their offices, to go to the Capitol building to have these things. No, I think they can come to a compromise by submitting written argument, and those written argument, in fact, can still do better. In the meantime, you ask, if you're going to do a written argument, then you have to submit to the state that the Supreme Court. The state of the Supreme Court does not mean that your case is no longer valid, or that you have been ruled against. The Supreme Court is just telling you it's a half time. Take a water break while we look into it. And I think, but for them, if the Supreme Court is going to insist that these people go to them, then I think they're not standing. That should not stand. That should not stand. But they should respect the Supreme Court involvement, and they should submit. They should write the Supreme Court that we will not come to you. We will submit our counter argument, but we will not close our offices, shut down the House of Representatives, because you want us to come to you, and we're not going to set a precedent like that. I think that would be a good argument. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Jerry, what do you think?
You can use in your closing argument, the key words there is precedent.
Let me bring in Terry. Terry, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm here tonight. This is purely Tabata. I'm not a lawyer. I play one on TV. This is purely Tabata from internet. I'm way out of my league.
No.
Go ahead.
No, you are not saying Tabata here. You are speaking from a different perspective. But with legal man or person of mine, you again use a keyword, the word precedent. Precedent means that may have happened before. But let's look at the key thing there is whether the Supreme Court will go to the Capitol, or Capitol will go to the Supreme Court. That is the issue here. Okay? That is the issue. That what you are talking about. Regardless of the speaker removal, but the key thing that going to happen here is the constitutional issue. Who going to bow down to their friend. But it's already happened. There's a precedent. So if the representative want to the lower court the lower house want to argue, I mean the case is already there. Snow versus the House of Representatives when they ready to remove him. They went to the Supreme Court. They went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Well, Mr. Snow, you won the case, and because of the political reason, Snow resigned from his position." So there's already a precedent. So how can you come back and say no? We can't go to the Supreme Court because we are sitting or legislature or we are sitting senator.
Like I said, if this precedent have already been set, the precedent must be respected. But I think that was a wrong precedent that was set, because from there on you will have until another Supreme Court will say we do not want you to come to us. When they refuse, they say yes, you're right. You shouldn't come to us. That will debunk that other bad precedent that was set.
You see, yes, how the law works. There are three ways of the law to pass. Okay, the judiciary make a law, because once that law has passed, once the judge gave a ruling, it became a law in the country. Executive and the judiciary. That's how law is passed by the legislature. These are three means of passing the law. So let's take, for example, you slap me right now, I slap you. But that slap, it had never happened in that condition with which you slap me, or that led me to somebody had injury, and to that thing went to court, and the judge say the defendant, you are A, you are guilty, B, you are the victim for that reason, this is what happening. So it became a law. So if C go or slap D again, they will may refer to that case and say, A for the B, this is what the court said. So this is what I'm talking about. Here's a law right here. The Snow versus the House of Representatives of they are already going to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has said this is what happened. Okay, so folks, let us scatter, the legal scholars will do it, but at this point, if they say they're not going to go to the Supreme Court or the judge in Chima, then there's an issue right there. So, but there's a precedent already been set. That's why I just want to probably the government turn the understanding of it. I'm not going to use but there's a real situation. That means urgency. Okay, the speaker has already used the real sanctuary to go to the court because it's an urgent case. That's why he filed out the real sanctuary to the Supreme Court. Thank you.
Terry.
Yeah,
what's on your plate? You care to pick up from where we are and throw your 2 cents?
I got other things to say, but this is important. But there's something happened today. I listened to the chief of police. He said something today, which I want to talk about later.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you, Jerry. Go ahead, Terry. You care to continue with the conversation, or you have something else on your plate that you want to unload first?
Well, I think the conversation is very, very interesting because we foresee that tomorrow will determine again where we are from the standpoint of the legislature. I think that is also important. So, but like you were saying, Mr. Bakan was saying that there is a precedent. There is a precedent set. I've been listening to a lot of people talking about the law, even Darrell Dillon defending the law and saying, giving explanation of what he believed that the law is saying. And other lawmakers are also saying contrary. Who will we believe? Can we call a lawyer? I'm not listening to a law person really explaining the law to us, especially Article 33 and Article 49, blah, blah, blah. These guys just running all over the place. But can the Supreme Court put a stay order on the legislature? I was reading on that, and I found out that it is true. The Supreme Court can intervene. The Supreme Court can put a stay order on an unconstitutional action, something that breached the Constitution. The Supreme Court can put a stay order upon it.
Yeah, but Terry, hold on now. If the Supreme Court believe that there's a violation within the country on the violation of the Constitution, can they not just rule to say this is a violation of the Constitution? Why would they want to put a stay on it? I think they're putting a stay on it because they themselves have not gotten the clear understanding of what the violation is. Wouldn't you say?
The stay order is to intervene, to allow them to hear the matter.
That is because they don't know for sure that that the Constitution has been violated. Right.
Yeah, right. So because somebody had complained that they read, and what I read was that the Supreme Court can put a stay order when the legislature is not giving the person due process. When there is no due process, when the due process is violated, Supreme Court can put a stay order to hear the matter, to intervene and hear what's going on. But the Supreme Court cannot make decision for both houses. So it left with the both houses, or it left with the house to agree to the stay order of the Supreme Court. So even though the Supreme Court have the power to put a stay order, but the precedent that have been set in Liberia have been a very bad precedent. The precedent that have been set in the 52nd legislature, the 53rd legislature, the 54th legislature was very bad. And that is the precedent now that the 55th legislature is acting upon. And because of that precedent, it will be very difficult for the Supreme Court or anybody to stop them. Because
but Terry, let me push back on this. The precedent you're speaking about, which have to do with the resignation of the two former speakers. Now, the resignation of the two former speakers has nothing to do with the law. It has to do with they didn't resign because the Supreme Court said you violated law. They didn't resign because of the law. They resigned because of the pressure.
But so that's what I'm saying.
But the pressure is not a precedent that the Supreme Court cannot overcome. So the pressure process is a political process. So the political process is what Frankie Kofa is saying. I'm not going to yield to that. If I'm going to yield to anything, I'm going to yield to the rule of law of the Republic of Liberia.
Yeah, but Mr. Toh, the horse have her own rule. So the horse have her own rule. Yes, that's a point.
Yeah, but the rule of the House cannot supersede the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia.
No, but at the same time, wait a minute. At the same time, the horse have her own rule. Yeah. Hopefully, this is what I'm thinking. If they go to the Supreme Court will send it back to the House. You have your own rule. You are sorted out. If you can sort it out, then the Supreme Court will step in and say, you know what, this is what happened. That's what the Supreme Court is the Bible that interpret.
Let's hear Pastor Terry Collins.
Yes. So the precedent now that was set in the 52nd House was that the Supreme Court put a stay order and rule that they should go back to status quo. And they did not listen. The precedent that was set was that the majority black did the same thing what they're doing now. The majority black proceeded into having a quorum. And the president of the Republic of Liberia recognized the majority black in person of Madam Sirleaf. And she went there and gave a speech that how can Edwin Snow felt that he had lost the battle. So that was the first precedent. The second precedent was Ellis Tyler in the, I think, 53rd legislature. They set the same precedent. The Supreme Court ruled on the matter and said the behavior of the House was unconstitutional. It was not it was inconvenient to the law. The Supreme Court ruled. They did not listen. They formed a quorum. They ran business as usual. They did the same thing to Kabina Janneh. When Kabina Janneh was there, the Supreme Court ruled that the action of the removal to impeach the justice, it was wrong and was unconstitutional. And Fanatic Kofa was on the judiciary in the House at the time. They were the one that were fighting to remove Kabina Janneh. When they overlooked the Supreme Court ruling, they say the Supreme Court does not have the right to interfere into the legislature decision, and they squash it. And because of that, they did not stop until they removed Kabina Janneh unconstitutionally. And Kabina Janneh reported the matter to ECOWAS Court, and that the ECOWAS Court even said that the Supreme Court or the legislature acted unlawfully.
Fine.
Now, This is the 55th. I come in, I mean, lay on this. This is the 55th legislature that people now are saying that because this is Joseph Boca government in power, Joseph Boca, because it happening to them, who did bad in other leadership, that Joseph Boca now should do the right thing to follow the law because of Joseph Boca government. How does it make sense? You have already set the precedent. In my opinion, after this, they can do one thing for themselves. They can repeal that law and reinterpret the law and redo the law to strengthen the position of the speaker so this thing can happen. Because for now, that particular law that they're talking about, Article 33, have already been violated. And any other legislature come, when they want to remove the speaker, they will do the same thing and nobody will be able to.
But Terry, this is the point that I'm making.
Let me come here a little bit.
Right,
Go ahead. You see, here's the interesting part. The Mr. Kofa, the speaker, Terry just measured something. The same Kabila that hold it dismissed illegally, as Terry said.
Yeah.
That the same lawyer now defending Mr. Kofa himself. So you see how it is? So you see, so yeah, he's a lawyer. He's one of the leading lawyers that are going to argue the case before the Supreme Court. So,
But
so
let me say this. Let me say this.
Who the lawyer now are going to argue?
Kabila Nyana, he's the lawyer for what's his name, Kofan right now. But let me tell you this. Let me say this. Kofa case is a very interesting one. For those of us that follow politics, consider ourselves a student of politics, Kofa case is a very interesting one. In that, Senator Snow and Senator Tyler's situation, similar situation. But the people who remove or who force Tyler and Snow to resign, the same tactic. Tyler and Snow resignation was not because of violating the rule, or not because they resigned because they were in error of the rule. They resigned because of political pressure, right, which is what these people are bringing on. Now, the issue here is this. Planty Kofa and his people are saying enough is enough. If you want Planty, the Constitution provide that if you want a speaker out, these are the rules that you have to follow. Now, Planty Kofa and his people are saying, fine, we're not objecting. Come and follow the rule. But he will not resign. Now,
but wait a minute. Let me ask you another way. Let me ask you another way. Let me put it another way. Who is there to determine who is in majority? Because here is a majority. Let me ask you the question. If you must say how the election right now with three on the platform, we'll take a vote. To say we'll only stay here for another more 15 minutes. It's not political vote. Eh? And we got two here and one. Who win the election?
It's not the issue.
Oh, no. I mean, but that's,
no, hold on now.
That's the point. No, that's my point. I just got to break it down. Why is that?
Okay. The analogy is not the same in that the rule to remove, which these people are trying to do, and they're saying they not just want to remove Planty Kofa because of the fun of it. They believe Planty Kofa have violated a certain aspect of their rule, in fact. And also they believe that Planty Kofa might have violated the Constitution as well. Now, the point is, they have a legitimate reason. But the point everyone, including myself, is making is this. The Constitution says if you want to remove it doesn't matter what your rule of the House of Representatives says. The Constitution supersedes the House rule. Right. The House rule was not ratified by the entire country. The right. Constitution was ratified by the entire country. The House rule does not apply to me. The House rule does not apply to any other Liberian except members of the House of Representatives. Now, if Planty Kofa violate any rule of the House of Representatives and they want to punish him, they have to find the rules in their House rule how to punish for that particular
Yeah,
violation.
but liberal.
Hold on. You can't say the man violated the house rule, but we're going to use the Constitution to remove him. If you're going to do that, my argument, if you're going to do that, you have the right to do that. But then follow the constitutional way of removing the
No, Mr. Liberal, stop.
Oh, my
Mr.
goodness.
Bacon, can I come in?
Stop.
Liberal. The
No,
people.
you know what? Jerry, let me come in. Let me come in 1 second. You know, we forget. Now my brain is going back. What happened to Chair Chipo?
Those are all bad precedents that were set.
No, but that's why the law is all about.
No, but you can't do that. You can't do this to us.
Now my brain is opening up. Now you're opening my brain. Now my brain is opening up.
No, but listen, y'all gotta let me end before y'all come in, both of you.
Thank you.
Y'all gotta let me end. So the point now is the Constitution. The Constitution said in order for you to remove a speaker, you have to have Article 49, 48.666, 49. Okay. They don't have 49. Because they don't have 49, they have the majority. And their rule, the House rule says if you have majority, you can elect a speaker temporary, whatever it is. That's the House rule. Now, let me tell you again. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia supersedes the House rule. And that's why Flantikova ran to the Supreme Court. He's not running to the Supreme Court for the Supreme Court to come and interpret the House rule. The Supreme Court, I don't believe
maybe
the House rule.
He went there.
So the point here, let me let Jerry, you're coming. The point here, please, just give me 1 minute, please.
Can someone welcome me, please?
No, Mr. So, welcome and sit down. We'll come to you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your presence here tonight. I hope they coming down. Other men will not follow you right away. Because how you can stand there, other men can try to disturb the show. So I beg you, tonight on a Monday night, we're going to enjoy ourselves. So the point here is this, folks, and then the two of you can debunk this. The Supreme Court now going to come in and say, okay.
Now
water is not drinking. A big couple, you boy. Okay. So the Supreme Court is going to step in now.
Somebody call can make people swear though.
So when the Supreme Court step in and these guys refuse to allow the Supreme Court in, I think they will have a serious problem. Mr. So, thank you for joining us. Terry, go ahead, Mr. So, before you come in, Terry wanted to debunk my fluency lawyer argument. Go ahead, Terry.
The Supreme Court is ruling in that Fonati Kofa is filing a lawsuit that's saying that the lower house is not giving him due process.
Okay.
So because the lower house is not giving him due process.
And what was the due process that he won?
Coming out.
But give us the due process first. What was the due process?
The due process is to allow him to defend himself based upon the allegations they raised against him.
What are the process? Was it on the removal part?
Yeah, that was the removal.
For him to be removed, he would be given the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, that is the removal now. But
that's the Constitution, right? That's not a rule. That's not a house rule. That is the Constitution.
I agree. Go ahead. But because they cannot raise the 49 to remove the speaker, they cannot raise the 49 to remove the speaker. They have declared themselves, since they have the majority, they can stop the speaker from having.
What rule is that? What rule is that?
That is the House rule.
That's a House rule.
Yes.
So are you saying that the House rule is higher than the Constitution?
No, but the House rule, House rule is not higher than the Constitution. That is why the judiciary declared their action unconstitutional.
Exactly.
Meaning it does not meaning it does not go in agreement with the Constitution. Exactly. That does not still mean that it does not go in agreement with their rule.
No, I agree with you.
So
I'm not arguing their rule. But as long as Flatikova ran to the Supreme Court, Flatikova is not running to the Supreme Court for the Supreme Court to intercede in interpreting the rule of the House. Flatikova going there and said the people violating the Constitution, which supersede the House rule.
Yeah, but
That's
then,
the point that I'm
then,
making.
then this is why you got to understand, liberal, is that even though the Constitution is more powerful than the rules also forbid Fonati Kofa from having a quorum. And if Fonati Kofa cannot have a quorum to discuss the country matter, it declares his leadership useless. And that is on that basis. They're not saying that we can remove the men because they don't have the numbers. So, but they are applying the strategy of their rule because they know if they follow the Constitution, they cannot remove him. So they're using the rule to stop him from having quorum
Which
to
is
preside.
political pressure.
Yeah, so that he
But
can.
Frantikova is saying to Frantikova and people are saying, forget it. We're not moving.
Yeah, but this is
you can go to Brazil and have a
No,
quorum
no,
over there,
no,
have
you
all your
see,
stuff. But we
This
are
is
not
what will
moving.
happen to him if he refuses to resign.
They
If he
just
refuse,
stay. They just stay.
if he refuses to resign, right, and these people go to the extent by the rule to establish a quorum, and then by the rule, because you must understand now, the Senate, the Senate is in operation. So if the budget goes to them, and the president and they send the budget to the Senate, and the Senate confirm the budget and send it back to the president signed it, and Fonati Kofa did not preside over that budget, his gavel is useless.
Yeah, okay.
So the operation of the horse still go on.
And that's the logic. That's the logic these people are using, which is unconstitutional. And we're not going to allow it. Let me go to Jared. Then Mr. So can come in. Why Mr. So running away for now? Go ahead, Jared.
but here's the interesting part. Like what Terry J alluded to. If tomorrow, for example, the budgets go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, let me say Supreme Court, sorry, to the Senate, and the Senate say, okay, we agree with the budget or whatever they want to adopt or not to do anything, and they send it to the House. Which of them are going to go to? They're going to go to the
is the one that's going to break the camel bite.
Okay, which one?
Whether president or Senate, if they send any kinds of communication that come from the Senate or from the president that goes to the lawmakers, the 40 whatever number they have, then they have recognized those people leadership. And once that happens, then Frantikova in trouble. But this, I predict to you that is not going to happen. The executive and the Senate will send stuff to Frantikova. Watch and see.
We wait.
I mean, it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. But I'm telling you, I'm a political guru on this platform. I am the only one that understands politics and the independence mind to make those
Wow, this is interesting. Everybody trying to follow the shadow now.
What shadow? I said liberal independent mind. Good evening, Mr. So. What's on your mind? What do you want to discuss?
Your tapata here tonight is too much.
Mr. So, what is on your mind? I hope your body don't come follow you here tonight because tonight, no, we're not giving him a chance. He come here just like you submitting yourself to us here, to my co-host and myself, and my second co-host. You just know that we're not.
This is what this is the same thing that get a country going down the hill. All of these titles, non-functional titles.
Yeah, that's what you think. And when the co-host told your co-host the other day, he says, Mr. Toe, don't let him talk. I block him until the co-host says, you say he got title, the title is not functioning. He told me, he said, don't let him talk. I said, okay. Until he release it. And he said, he's not functioning.
Assistant to the special assistant, minister to the other minister, deputy.
Okay, what's on your mind, Mr. So?
I think I managed to talk to two of, I call them the political mutineers from Capitol Hill. Wow. And I think, that's a complete political mutinies. I mean, they can't, in order to, the rules are crystal clear. You cannot remove the speaker outside of the section. So what they are doing is dangerous. They have the right to do it, but you need to have that number that is required, and that has to be debated in section, in chambers. But I think Fanati, No, I would say this based on the two representatives that I talked to, one male and one female. Fernandes is in a tough battle. He literally raised his own alligators, some of his own doing, if they are correct, based on what I gather. That's the kind of front that he's fighting. But CDC did not do herself favor. Soon they are getting to realize they were fighting a front on a long term and forgetting to know the short term, and forgetting to know the other puzzle, which is a long-term implications. Thinking that if Fanatic Kofa was to be removed abruptly or surrender to the sort of political pressure and be removed, they were hoping that he, Tomofala, who have been there. Now, let me just put these possible scenarios, and I'm willing to validate those information, but it came from them directly. You have the CDC wing in the party, quote unquote, who feels Fanatic Kofa is not original, is not a beginner or origins of the CDC party. There's a buffer chambers.
That would be
Can I make my point, please? You gotta give people courtesy when they are talking. That's unacceptable.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Really?
No, he can ask me questions. You don't want
to be suffocating people. You don't want to be suffocating people when people are talking. You always interrupt them.
That's how they keep it, because you guys make up stories. You guys are politically minded, so I got to be very forceful to get something out of you. But let me progress here. There's some sort of buffer chambers wing within the CDC, who, for whatever reason, in their own warfare that Kofa undermined and whatever it is, there are other black within the CDC who feels Kofa is accelerating politically, and he could be a good asset in the long term. So they are kind of like uncomfortable. Some saying, "Oh, you don't pick up George Weah-Kor," all sort of nonsense. They have another wing of the Richard Cohn who contested against this guy here. They also felt that finances, money, and financial violence were induced in the process that led Kofa to be the speaker, which of course we know how money, including your own Joseph Boyka, call lawmakers to also have that sort of influence. Then there's a second portion to one of the female lawmaker. I talked to, according to some of them, they heavily supported Fanatic Kofa. And you and I know, unlike the George Weah and the Helen Johnson Sirleaf administrations, these committees here were elected. With this one here, Fanatic Kofa is appointing. So most of them gave their support to Fanatic Kofa with the hope of political reward. And that's what it's all about in a capital. When you get on committee, trust me, you're in a good standing, depending on whatever you go for. Over and off.
That is the real story.
When that happens, after all of that, Fanatic Kofa did not live up to his political commitment.
That is the real story.
And if us who were in that building, remember, these people, besides all what they have their own pressure being mounted on them from the various constituency, people traveling, people going other places, getting fat, huge bonuses, giving them this committee huge money, and they start facing pressure, scholarships, and all of that. All of that's under the direct purview of Speaker Fanatic Kofa. That did not happen. So these four groups of people put together and decided to say, well, I'm still curious here because I asked one of them, and like, was there money? Of course, politicians, the only good soldier is a dead soldier. So politicians too, like you guys, have this, all of your outside here. You're here to protect your own people, putting all of your defense lines. So I'm not going to take you serious as well. I was asking, was there any money induced into this process to have the speaker removed? And that was a hair-scratching question. I'm petting. I don't want to be too people to listen to be too bitchy, and that because I want to have one of those two persons on this network. We're still having a conversation. But what they are doing cleverly, they are kind of listening to their leaders, and they try to avoid the media because they want to have some sort of consistency. And that one of the mistakes Fanatic Kofa made. Okay, You get a mission, you have a vision, and you have people going against you or expressing their own, not against you, their own political rights. Instead of you working the phone line, as I thought he should have done that, he resorted into media confrontations. And that's the bad thing that I don't know who ever deployed that sort of strategy. That was the bad thing he did. So those people, when they brought it in, it was easier to sell out because other people were angry, they were already mad already, they didn't know how to express it. So they brought in this whole thing here. But quickly before I switch gears, Lebron, I'm wondering here, where this is a clear indication our political parties are social club. They don't listen to their leaders. We see here, even with the Donald Trump, who was not even in the White House, there was some high level of influence calling Republican to get certain things done, not to get certain things done. Where is the CDC political leaders, their standard barrier at this time? All right. Where is the Unity Party to? Is fanatical far anti to this administration for which they want to remove him? Now, Kokard now, who is the face of this thing, positioning himself as to be the good fighter and hoping that if he succeed, he to be the speaker.
Walter Carter, you gotta turn your phone.
Yeah, but interestingly, what Tara was saying, they can't get the number. That's the problem. We are hearing some other people are crossing over. What sort of D being strong? We don't know. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. And they can't just abruptly defy the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, if these people cannot go to 5 sections, under the law, the Speaker has the right to ask the Supreme Court to intervene. And the Supreme Court has, they can take some tough stand. Yet is the other handicap part to the administration. Now you see the president being going all around MOU, all of these things being signing. In the period of 1 month, if the lawmaker cannot take a seat to have conversations about these MOU that have been signing, guess what? It takes national government to square zero. So this is not a play thing here. These people, your friends, then you need to talk to your friends.
Thank you,
Mr. So. And produce the number if they have.
Thank you. That not journalist thing here we're doing here. We're share idea. So if you're gonna do your reporting stuff, go on your own show and do your reporting. Tonight we're sharing idea. Let me welcome the most independent mind on this platform here.
Oh wow!
Walter Carter, good evening. Thank you for joining us. You wrote. You look at what you wrote for me earlier. Listen, look at this. Look at this. See that? That's made him the most independent mind.
So, see, Papa, it's so easy to fool. My man kept the other time say, I'm going to rest on it, but while you're the old man will put it out. That's exactly what you have done. Shame on you. Wow. So, you don't know put a chair here up.
Thank you. Walter Carter, please welcome. What's on your mind, sir?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'd like to say hi to my esteemed colleagues on the platform tonight. So I listened to my brother Terry and Mr. Bacon. We are analyzing what is unfolding. One of the things that we should understand, I think the black that are opposed to the speaker, I don't think they understand the law of Liberia. And I don't even think they understand it, even the rules that go in the house. I don't think they understand it. If you really go back and look at the law, right, and the rules, they have violated the rules and they are trying to violate the law, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. One, they do not have the number the rules apply. I mean, the rules got on them. The 49 members to sit and remove the speaker based on what the speaker did according to them. 2, right? They cannot stay outside of the capital and conduct the affairs of the national legislature outside of the capital. They cannot do that. 3, they need the deputy speaker in any case to preside over them for the president to send any communication to them. they need a speaker there. So the deputy speaker, in the absence of the speaker, they don't have that. So they are they are just making the Liberian people's lives difficult, because if, like Mr. So said, in a few weeks that coming or past, if this president has some serious agenda to send to the legislature and they're not functioning, they're not getting down to they're not trickling down to the common people, because the legislature is not, I mean, the representatives are not working. And you know, it impedes the government efforts that they are trying to make on the Liberian people. So I think it does not serve this government well, because majority of the people who are opposed to Fanatikova are supporters of this government. So if you sit back and honor the speaker got a law on his side. The speaker is saying he's not going to resign. He's not going to bow down to no political pressure. You'll go and the legal way. If you know you got the number, you got the law on your side, you are serious about what you say, facing the speaker and tell him what he did. And don't because you get it 49 members that you're just going to move the speaker. No. You have to prove beyond reasonable doubt in the House that what you said about the speaker is true. And the speaker already told the people, because most of the come they gave him, that he said, I think he double dipping or whatever. He got share in companies that he's still running. He lawyer for this and that. Those are things that the speaker said they are not true. He got proof to that. One of the things that is even putting in there is, I supposed to be on a committee, he put me in a committee. Those are nonsense. You can't bring it to ruin the speaker. The speaker has the will and pleasure to appoint. It's not an elected position. He has the will and pleasure to appoint who he wants to appoint, where he wants to appoint them. So I think the law, they are not making any kind of good decision as far as the law concerned. I think they have been they read it needs some legal luminaries to advise them as to how to carry on this thing. But at the end of the day, the government of Joseph Nima Boakai will feed the pinch, because his lawmakers are in majority.
Thank you. Let me come to Jerry now. Jerry, go ahead. Where's Terry?
Well, you're knocking out. But anyway,
go ahead, Jerry. Whole house. That's how you operate. He kicked Jerry out.
Yes, someone who into research or do some analysis and go back and start reading some of this stuff. The issue here is, what happened in 1982 or 83 or 82. The Chiachipo, I think, was in it before the coup, when Chiachipo were represented. And go read it. You can go do research and see what happened. Chiachipo were expelled from the lower house, and he took a case to the Supreme Court. And what did the Supreme Court say? That is a House prerogative. We can't do it. And that was the end of Chiachipo, until he went back before he began Senate, before he was re-elected as senator. So these are precedents.
Yeah, Jerry, to list those as an example, you're not doing all the justice here.
What do you mean?
Even though in terms of the law, you're quite correct. But let's look at the condition. Let's look at the people that were involved, and see if that kind of case today were to be brought to this current Supreme Court. What are the Supreme Court going to say? That's none of our business. I don't think so.
No. Listen. This is what we had. That's why we call precedent.
Jared, Mr. Barker, let me come to your aid. This guy here, I told you, do not follow this guy here. He would dump you. That's exactly what he has done.
Let Mr. Jerry Barker speak,
please. He kicked Jerry out because kept operating. He kicked Jerry off the screen, and that's exactly, you are the next person. But Jerry is quite correct. Chiachipo, in fact, he went beyond that by even challenging the executive. And this is where these people are going to come. Oh, you don't throw Jerry out again too? I love that show. Today. They can't eat your own baby. I love it. Look, we're just lost, you guys.
I don't want you to tell her all.
The hypocrisy in you guys, with this law, these guys would need to bring classical conversation. But Jerry is quite correct. And this is where this is the hope that Fanatic Kofa is not a novice. He knows exactly what he's doing. He wants to compel them. Since some of you are your lawmaker, you don't know the lawmaker, you don't know the lawyer, you just read book, and by way of chance they elected you and you're here, you want to act crazy. We all want to act crazy. They cannot remove me in the absence of being in that section, and that's the hope he putting on there.
But
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Su,
Jerry. Go
Mr.
ahead, Jerry.
Su,
Finish your point, and then we'll
So-
come to you, Terry. Go ahead, Jerry.
So you see, look, what happened? You see, one of the things in law, there's nothing in law or in up to this time, we are still using a common law. Common law still exists, thing of the point of law. Okay, so while Mr. May his soul rest in peace, what Church put it is the law of the land. The Supreme Court have make a decision on the issue before. So we can still visit and say, this is what the Supreme Court said 30 years ago or 50 years ago. Or it doesn't mean when the
Hold
law
on
is.
now, Jerry.
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me learn.
No,
It
but
doesn't mean.
that was under another constitution.
What do you mean? It's a see, listen. If they suspended, it's a new constitution. But I just alluded to it that what we got common law. Even the common law of today, even if the constitution had been suspended, we have new constitution. We still have the common law today. People still new common law into the new law. So
Okay.
go read it out.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we still new common law even in the Great Britain, at least in the Great United States, we still new common law. That the common law says or 1847, 18 something. So the law stays. What happened in Arizona the other day about the abortion? See, 18 something law that the representative or the state had the power for the abortion. They still use the law. So if you look at the law, it's not something that you bury and say, oh, because the constitution was suspended and in 1986 we got a new constitution, so for that reason it's been abolished. No, that's the law of the land. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's come to Terry. Terry, you were going to say something?
yeah, this is the fear I have for Fonati, and this is the fear I have for JMB government. The fear for Fonati is if he decide to stay on because he feel that he's loyal, he will be disgraced. The disgrace here will be if the JMB government sends the budget to the majority black, and if Thomas Fala leave from under the Fonati Kofa, I'm waiting to see what will happen tomorrow because these people have written a letter to annul Thomas Fala position and set up a pro tem to do business. If Thomas Fala do not show up tomorrow and they do annul Thomas Fala position and then set up a pro tem wherein JMB will send the budget to them to discuss the budget, and they will discuss the budget, approve it, send it to the Senate, the Senate approve it and send it to how you call it, back to the president. Fonati is done. He will be forced to resign. So all the BMO he making, or I will hold it in. The only fear I have for JMB government, there is something we call Kama. The same Kama that we're going to Fonati today, the removal of Kabina Jane, that is same Kama they're experiencing now. What I'm saying, what I'm looking at is this. With the people in RLJ, I hear that most of these representatives, they are 43 lawmakers, and they are staying in RLJ. My fear is who paying our money for them. They cannot be the CDC to be sleeping over there. So if this thing is actually the GMB government that is under this thing, I foresee sanctions. I foresee a huge problem 6 months to 1 year from now coming on this government. So I hope he taking cognizance of all these Tabata, all the things and what they're doing, the shenanigans.
So Terry, just to my own prediction, President Bakai and the Senate will not send any document to the lawmaker other than Flantikofa. Whether Flantikofa get one person or not. If they remove him by the 49, then they will do the right thing by sending. But even if they go over there tomorrow and say they're going to not avoid what's his name, the Deputy Speaker position, Deputy Speaker and Flantikofa will still sit behind that chair, and nothing they can do until
So
The
what if
whole
JMB government sends the budget to them?
JMB government will not do that.
Okay.
Terry,
I
look,
watch to
listen.
see. I can
I'm
bet
very
on it.
serious. If JMB
Me, I
government was
can
to
bet
do
that JMB government will send a budget to the majority.
no, they
Because
will
I
not
have
do
seen
that.
it
Because if he
before.
does that,
I have
if he
seen
does
it.
that,
And I can
if he
bet on it that he will do it.
if he does that, I know you have a prophetic eyes. You can see. I know your head can see because that's why you brought the president to power. You told us
But this one
the
not
president.
prophetic eye, Mr. Two. This one he said he saw it before. So it means
Yes.
he tell us where he saw it, when he saw it.
It happened. Ellen Johnson said it government. Ellen Johnson said it government. She ignored the Supreme Court
because she
ruling
wanted those people out. She herself wanted them out.
How sure are we? This is not JMB's operation.
Terry, what is in the interest of President Waka right now to remove Flanty Kofa? Nothing. None of those.
I'm glad you asked this question.
The speaker, liberal. You are political.
But none of these people.
You to say that.
There's no way.
So, then where are those? You see, if you guys ask this question, this is the hypocrisy that in you guys.
We don't have to be hypocrites in order to argue our point. No. I'm running the show here tonight. First of all, we're going to have Jerry and myself. We're going to start monitoring. With Jerry and myself, going to start monitoring your language now. Mr. So, we're going to monitor your language here tonight in order for you to fully participate in the private.
But it's also hypocrisy.
In order for you to participate in the intellectual conversation, your language is going to have to be monitored, and we're going to watch what you say. Because if you come out here and start calling us a hypocrite and what have you.
No, he didn't say hypocrite. He didn't call it hypocrite. He said hypocrisy.
Yeah, but what are you talking about? Who are you talking about? That I'm Jerry myself. I beg you, don't. I told you. Now you. Now you.
Whoever the captain is, let them wear it.
Now you. So, but anyhow, why, Mr. So? Why, Mr. So? We're watching your language.
I don't even trust Joseph Boyka. The Omen too is a Delaware Omen. Who knows? How you talk the man talking to the Pope? They talking to he talk the man to Rome. They have been praying over he can. And people, there's a mutiny going on, and he quiet. He not calling his party members to say, "Hey, this man here."
Mr. So, let me enlighten you. Let me enlighten you. You're giving 1 or 2 minutes of your time, please. On a very serious note, when we argue for this man, President Waka president now, to be in charge, we were arguing of his experience. It was a main point we were arguing. The president has a clear understanding of the rule of law of the Republic of Liberia.
Oh, please.
He knows that there are three separate branches of government. He knows his function as an executive, where his involvement should be. This is an issue that is happening in the House of Representatives. They are arguing about the law in the House of Representatives. They are arguing about the Constitution. Whose responsibility is it for the Constitution? Mr. So, please, the liberal is on the floor. Whose responsibility is this to interpret the Constitution? It's the judiciary. President Bakai, number one, let me disabuse you again. President Bakai has no interest in removing Flanty Kofa. In fact, I told you guys here that Flanty Kofa would have been one of the best speakers for President Bakai. And in fact, President Flanty Kofa, Speaker of Kofa, have proven me right. Flanty Kofa came in and said, I will help the president if it is in the interest of the Liberian people. And that he's doing. So among all of the people that you see out there want to remove Flanty Kofa, which one of those things you think, even if there was an election, that President Waka will put the person hand up and say, this is the person I want. Having had the opportunity to work with Flanty Kofa. So, no, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. So, Flanty Kofa issued the law, the Article Supreme Court going to step in, and these people, they got nothing on their side. The House rule is only the House rule. So the Constitution supersedes the House rule. Now, if they come back and say we're going to use the same tactic they use on snow, which is a political process, it's not the constitutional process. They will be in the dead water. They will not succeed because Flanty Kofa will stay, and they can't remove him. They can't remove him.
So quickly,
unless they go with
liberal.
the 9 for the 9.
So quickly, liberal. Let me dislodge your golden stone age politics that you're talking about. We are in the modern time. The president does have a significant role. If you would say that, so Joseph Boyka, all these laws being breaking here, what has he been doing that now he doesn't want to interfere when you call the lawmakers to try to put money? What we are saying here,
He got no evidence. Jerry, don't make no repeat that.
I don't want to go back here. Let me
Let it go.
You guys
we'll pretend that we
You want to distract me and will keep my focus. And Terry will agree with me. Keptot will agree with me. For you to say that the president does not have Nana, yes, I'm not saying the president should come publicly in the media to hold a press conference. That your Charles Bronson type of politics you play until your party went down the hill. That's why you want to drag that. What I'm saying, if Joseph Boyka knows Fanatic Kofa is being helping to support his agenda, that's part of he being in the opposition. There are two faces to this whole thing here. So the question now becomes, there are some other mutineers who are from his party.
Mr. Sir, can you hold on? I'm going to get an announcement, please. Just hold on to your words. Folks, we will open the line and then you will participate. I will soon be opening the line. I got about 5 more minutes and I will open the line. So just bear with me. Those of you that are calling, we'll open the line very shortly.
Call me the courtesy when I'm speaking to the audience. That's another disruption. This is how you guys operate. All right, that's another way of sanctioning.
I'm the board chair. Besides the host, I'm the board chair. I can call you to a point anytime.
So Terry, what I was saying here, and it's not just only President Boyka and not only President Boyka alone, to George Williams now. Who does it really favor? Are they seeing as one of their own as a real seditions or just sedition who just came and rising to the top? Is he the Fanatic Kofa on the political side? Is he posing to long-term political threat to the United Party for which Joseph Boyka is holding his breath? So why he, Joseph Boyka, or even George Weah as leaders of these parties to take a phone and call these people and say, hey, what is going on? We need to cut. There should be this billing is all about making a political deal. They will just sit down there and he will wait until after after 5 sessions, according to the law. If they can't go in session, then the COFA can send that to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has the authority to say, you know what, and call for re-election or dissolve the group, because these groups, they don't know what they are doing. And this is why COFA is dragging them. So COFA now, he finds himself like a piece of cloth between the scissors. Boyka looking at him. And I'm saying this, and I'm talking about experience. Cordner Bedier did that to his speaker, talking out of the country, and while they were there, the speaker was ousted. Why would President Joseph Boyka go visit the most holy man on earth, and upon the return, this thing going on, and he's quiet, and you telling me he doesn't have anything? Please give me a break. Jerry, you can whack your hairs left and right. Make sure don't butt Keptot in the head. Go his way in Connecticut.
You know, this is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous for you to come here to have that conspiracy theory that because Boyka, Excellency, will take the speaker to Vatican or all places for to be removed. Why, when he in Moravia, he want to do it, he can do it? I mean,
why it didn't happen until they gotta go to Vatican?
You see, that is the point.
Convince me my argument.
When you're talking, please give me the opportunity. Let me speak, man. Please give me the opportunity.
Yeah, please. The co-host is just as powerful as I am. Please, Jerry, go ahead.
You get thrown out of the string here now.
So how, the conspiracy theory you're just putting out there to distract Google people who want to make sound decision, and your profile on these things for little brain. Look, Mr. Toll, why would you say such a thing? With good conscience, the president of Republic of Liberia will take the speaker to go to Vatican to go see the Pope, so they can or Haku detect why he going. Folks.
First of all, the president doesn't want to diminish the speaker relation.
That's why I always call you the right wing.
Exactly. Mr. Sadri, very dangerous.
Okay, folks, let me open the line.
Yes,
So that these people can get it.
Mr.
To my
To,
belief,
can you give me
with
a
all
chance to make a
sincereness.
point if you
Yeah,
open
go
the
ahead.
line?
Go ahead. We're gonna open the line anyway. Go ahead.
So you see one thing, when we come to these discourse to talk about, we don't forget history. Just before the speaker was elected, the very United Party government under the executive undermined his leadership, his sentences to the speakership, right?
That was an election. What do you mean by
Yeah.
honor mine?
Can you let a man talk, please?
No, but what do you mean by honor mine? That was an election, and the Unity Party people were they have
We
people
are
they were
still
supporting.
dealing with the aftermath of the election. That's the point he's trying
So
to
right
make.
after that election, there was another attempted coup that was uncovered by a Unity Party supporter, led government supporter in the
Caller, you have to caller, you have to
But
lower your
yeah,
monitor, please.
hold on, wait. So you can call back here and talk about the $4,500 that were given to the black so they can
Just hold on. When Walter Carter land will let you come in.
so they can unseat the Senate, they can unseat the speaker. So I think what Mr. Sword is saying, it has a lot of valid. He has a lot of valid point in it. The president is in the know of exactly what is
Yeah,
unfolding.
there we go. Okay,
And
thank
the
you.
president should take
Let me go to the
responsibility.
Why
caller.
are you trying
Let
to
me
cut
go
me
to the caller.
off?
Thank you very much. Because those are baseless claims. Let me go to the caller.
What make it baseless?
Caller,
How you
okay, we'll come back to you. Caller,
So
go ahead.
why
Make
okay,
it. What's on your mind? What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind, sir?
This sort of Hamas government, how you want to run it now?
This is Saturday.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind?
I've been listening to you guys a little bit, and I talk about actually I want to weigh in concerning the speaker remover.
Okay. Make it brief.
And what Mr. Stowe was saying something. Let's say Stowe was saying something, and that you cannot root it out, Mr. Samson Stowe. If you can remember Liberian politics, Charles Taylor took Samuel Doki in every mattress with him, and Samuel Doki got killed. So by Bonanti Kofa going on a trip with Joseph Newman Boaka to Italy, that Joseph Boaka said that honor mine. I'm talking to you. I am of Sam or Joseph Boaka. We contributed money. You over there putting the money there. People in the United States putting the money there for Joseph Newman Boaka. Now, all corruption things are going on with Sylvester Griffin or any other.
We don't have no proof. We can't say that. We don't have no proof.
Mr. Tour, thank you for giving me this opportunity, but let me just leave.
Okay, please, go ahead.
What I want to say here is that I with the belief that the old man can change his country, but with the people he's surrounding himself with, and all the accusation going on against him, he cannot make a decision to say, hey, let that be an investigation. And you are continuously putting us on the thinking that it's now in the book. It's something that opposed me. It's something that is unbackling.
Thank you.
Oh, you better turn you off.
You and Mr. So and with a
Sorry.
under the seat.
Come on my program starts on Wednesday.
So can I continue now?
You finish now. Let me go to Terry.
How are feeling?
But you learned that.
No, I didn't. You told me the man on the phone. You'll be all right.
Go ahead.
You'll be all right. We're not taking your pressure up.
Make it brief.
You'll be all right. So on a serious note, I'm making the thing brief. I'm expanding here. On a serious note, Mr. Tor, I'm on the floor. Give the independent a chance on the floor. You're a celebrity, right? So give the independent a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we are today. We should not ignore the fact that President Boaka hand is in this whole thing. Because if he was not, his hand was not in it, He and this man went to Italy to see the Pope. They saw the Pope. The Pope prayed for them. And he was in Italy when this whole thing unfolded. I knew Fanatic Kofa probably talked with him. He heard it. When he came back, looking at the confusion in the country right now, looking at all of what is unfolding in the country, I saw, like you refer to him, father of the nation. We have all of the people in his party, majority of them against.
But ask him
this
if
man.
he's part of the nation.
Yeah?
Ask the
Caller, just hold on. Just hold on. Let Wilton
if this president is truly the father of the nation and truly a friend to Fanatic Kofa by taking into a room to see the Pope, he would have called on the Unity Party legislator and said, look, Representative, y'all slow down.
Caller, just hold on. Let Wilton.
He's not saying no word. He's not even calling it beyond closed door.
Thank you, Wilton. Caller, let me pick the caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? What number you wearing tonight? Hello? The first caller, 5215. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
La Chinese phone.
Let me put my number out, folks.
No, don't put your number out. Don't put your number out. Anybody call you, I will not answer them. Go ahead, caller. Okay, let me go to Aaron Brother. Aaron Brother, good evening. The other caller is not saying that. Good evening. Are you there?
Yeah, we're not talking.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
How you guys doing?
We're listening to you.
Let me weigh in a little bit.
Yeah.
The last time when this thing started, I called. Okay, it was you, Mr. Bacon, and Terry and Sissy were on the show, and I said the same thing. You should look at the beginning of this whole speaker chain. Who wanted somebody from the party to be speaker? Wasn't it President Bwaka, who was trying to put Richard Kuhn there, and he was bribing people here and there? What going to Italy with President Bwaka has to do with any one of these things? Okay? It's in President Bwaka's best interest if Richard Kuhn or anybody from the Unity Party becomes speaker. He will push for it. And let me finish, Mr. Toll, let me finish. Every time when people make their point on the show, especially when that person is, a supporter of former President Weah or Sidisha, you will make comment and say, that the way Sidisha can think. But you forget to know the Fanatic Kofa that you support all the time. You forget to know he's a Sidisha too, right?
He's not real Sidisha. It's a Liberty Party Sidisha.
Liberty Party, but that's through the
This is hypocrisy.
People who doesn't know nothing, that through them, he had in that position today.
Oh man, I swear.
Don't do that, Mr. Toll.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's Aaron Brother, folks. Let me pick up the other caller here. Let me do that. Let me call this other caller that was calling.
What's going on with this guy?
I really don't understand your argument, but I will debunk all of your argument tonight. Caller, are you there?
Why you don't like people to speak? This is absurd. You need to stop.
Hello? Okay, you're not there.
This is not a Unity Party, Unity Party.
Mr. So, let me debunk your argument again.
Yeah, but hold on one second. Wow. You see, because of many of you, like your tab, with this lack of political tolerance, when people try to speak their mind, what is happening over your country, you take the country to be your country.
Yeah.
You think that your
when
president.
You come hold on, let me talking things that are not true. We will push back. You think we're going to sit there for you to run with
There's no way that I can alter what I want to say. Will you please give me a chance? Now, you need to exercise political tolerance in the process of having national discourse. Okay. We're not talking about total.
Okay, thank you for your advice. We appreciate it. Let me move on. I'm not here to come kumbaya with anybody here tonight. Let me just tell you this. We will push back. Now, This is how ridiculous you people.
Mr. So, can you give Mr. To leave? Like that, just take a leave. Maybe he needs a little
No,
break.
this guy gonna face an
Who will give who
indefinite
leave?
suspension.
You
Who
need to
giving
go and
who
leave.
I
leave?
just only one.
I'm even gonna retire right now. What if I get leave?
For me, I
get
have
leave?
only one vote to pass that, and Terry will be the deal breaker. So let me just let you know.
Retire. According to board meeting, saying I bring up according board meeting tonight after the show. No, but on a very serious note, let me debunk you guys' ridiculous argument. Now, for some reason, you guys tend to inject. Of course, this is politics, but you tend to inject your sedition argument, CDC argument, to say because President Bakai wanted Richie Kuhn, therefore. It doesn't match.
Is it a force?
Mr. So, will you please let me talk, please? Let me take the color. Let me take the color and I'll come and debunk you. Caller, good evening, Samson To. I brought up the radio conversation with Samson To. What's on your mind? What's your name? Where you're calling from? Are you? Oh, okay, Clarence. Thank you for calling.
Okay, that
Go ahead.
You see him? Oh, thank you.
You are discussing tonight. I don't want for you to sit beyond the executive. There are three presidents of government and one president of government has a problem. We say the lawmaker. To me, one all the thing that we are seeing Fonachi bound by the law, the country comes first. I want for all of them to go on the table to discuss the country matter. Because if any constitutional process in our country, the citizen will suffer. And the thing when I did from the outside, I think Mr. To, you asked why you get not talking. I listened to your press conference yesterday. And you continue to say that if we move on from the government from Thomas Palace and one o'clock in the morning, let's go to the press conference yesterday. So what is happening? CDC against Fonachi Kofa? If Fonachi Kofa move with a proper CDC to me, see the reason why should be fighting for Fonachi Kofa to be removed. Because Fonachi Kofa is working with us. So say that all Union Party want for Fonachi Kofa to move. Although they are members of the Union Party we are also represented, who are the motive? But they are motive overcome the country. So if they are working with the president, to me, I don't see the fight to remove Fonachi Kofa in this country. Leader of the nation, that all of them go together and find common solution to this thing. Thank you, Mr. Do.
Thank you. Brilliant point, Clarence. Thank you.
That's what you like for people just pressing.
That's a brilliant point. But let me stress on that. The first thing you need to understand, Plantikova removal does not benefit President Bakai.
How do we know?
Mr. So, can you please let me make my point?
No, but provide clarity.
I'm going to provide something. I'm not in a courthouse.
Does it benefit CDC?
In a sense, right now, yes, it does.
No,
Let me finish. Let me finish, guys. President Bakai, quite recently, the kind of working relationship he has with Plantikova. I mean, many of you can attest to that.
No, we can.
Okay, you can. Then you don't have. I'm not asking you for your testimony anyway. Come tomorrow on my show and see if I'll even call you saying you don't know how to testify. You're not gonna be invited tomorrow. But anyway, let me just say this: the relationship between Plantikova and the president, Speaker Plantikova and the president, is very genuine. And Plantikova, I told you guys before, it is not about himself; it's about the country. Now, Plantikova, for you guys to try to link the president onto this is ridiculous, because the president understood clearly the divide of the government, and since the judiciary have the responsibility of interpreting the Constitution, and the crisis that is happening is constitutional, and so the president being a smart person and an intellectual, PhD in my mind, decided, look, I will not step in. Let the team play out. Those who have the
PSD in your mind?
Mr. Whatever your name is.
No, no, but you on the show. This is a noble station. Did you say
Look,
PSD
we
in
can't
your mind?
continue to.
Mr.
Hold on one second.
So let me finish my point. I don't want to block you guys. So the point
Oh.
here is this.
You want to threaten people now?
The point here is that you see, Jerry, this is how they start. So the point that I'm trying to make here is this: the president, having had a relationship with Flanty Kofa, will not do anything that will undermine Flanty Kofa leadership. Well, this is what I would predict on this show tonight.
We're not taking your prediction.
After tomorrow, you're not taking prediction. I predicted to you before, and I won. I predicted to you twice, and I beat you. So you know that.
That's psychic thing you want to do. Don't break it.
Okay, let me predict here again. After tomorrow, if Flanty Kofa still stands, President Waka would then engage privately on the ground. Let's put it that way. Engage his people and impact on them. How much Flanty Kofa is needed for this government to carry on their function. Now, if President Waka was to bring in a Unity Party member to be to be speaker, and you keep Thomas Fala in there, what you having now, you will have more of that.
Okay.
You will have sedition that will not want to cooperate with this government, and the government is not going to function. So there's no interest for President Waka to see the downfall of Flanty Kofa. You please stop this thing here. The old man is the father of the nation. He is leading us. He's trying his best for us to see reason to work together. You stop this kinds of ridiculous in the window going here and trying to speculate the president is what the president will be involved for. He got nothing to do with it. In fact, I told you guys the other day the president is getting ready to do a county tour. Why would he want to put himself? He wants to see the film so he and Flanty Kofa can go on a county tour.
Who cares?
Can I answer a question?
Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
So, if this was happening to what if Wahine Kun was the speaker? Do you think the president will remain silent? If this were happening to Kun?
If this were happening to Kun,
yeah,
and Unity Party members were opposing to Kun, like sedition members are opposing to Flanty Kofa, President Waka most likely will have contacted Unity Party members to stop.
Why he can't do it now?
Well, listen now. Listen.
No,
let me. I'm still speaking. The reason here is this. If Kun have gone to the Supreme Court, if Kun have President Waka, he's still going to engage. But it's not going to be public like this.
My question is very simple.
You're not answering the question.
And the reason why I'm saying that is this, right? The reason why I'm saying that is this. And to be honest with you, like I said the last time on Mr. Social, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This also go to the CDC former Senator Barrow, which is.
But let me ask you this, Terry.
No, you answer the man.
I'm running the show. Mr.
Terry, don't answer your question.
I'm running the show. Terry, let me ask you this question.
Oh,
do you think the removal of Flanty Kofa is in the interest of President Waka?
Yes, more than it's in the interest of CDC. Why? Because every leader, take for example how President Weah ran the country at ease with the speaker and the speaker Buffer Chima and Fonati deputy. So if President Waka,
so since Flanty Kofa became speaker, has President Waka have any issue?
No, but
he's still not satisfied.
It could be a trap. It could be politically. Listen,
okay, so I can bring in the political guru.
Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic, right?
The true.
Let's be realistic for a moment.
Go ahead, Jerry.
If Richard Kun become the next speaker, it serves the purpose of the executive in a greater way. Because every decision that President Boka wants to pass will not be contested.
What happened to sedition? What happened? You think CDC will allow President Baka and Richard Kun to work together in PN.
Why the CDC speaker allowing the president to work in work?
Because right now it's in the interest for.
But okay, liberal.
Nothing for us to understand. Jared, let me answer your question.
I know liberal. What
then I'll
about?
go to Jared.
Have you seen the calm in the Senate? Have you seen the calm in the Senate? Do you know?
Brother, so silent on his shoulder.
Jared, come in and help me with answering the question.
Yeah, let me get close.
Let me answer the question.
That your rescue boat?
Of course.
Let me get wrap up on this before the
boat is about to capsize. Please, Jared, come and help.
The speaker position
tonight.
The speaker position is a hard case. If President Baka really want for Nati Kofa, he will pick up the phone and call Richard Kun and all the guys tell them to stand down.
You will get to know.
And they will stand down immediately. But let me tell you the truth. I'm only waiting for one thing to happen. I'm waiting for two. But I'm not sure of the other one, which is Fala. For Fala to go down there tomorrow. I'm not sure Fala will go. But the other thing I'm waiting for is to see where President Baka will send a budget. And you say that the man will send a budget to Funati. That I want. Soon I want.
Ask Jared a question so Jared can help you.
Everybody will know now. What is Lola?
All right. Jared, go ahead, help me disabuse these
No,
people.
the man answered a question already. He answered the question, so it will be counterproductive.
All right, okay, go ahead.
He said
you called Jerry to help you.
The man already finished answering his own question, so no need for me to.
Go ahead, make up.
The question here is, he already answered his own question. He said he waited for the president to see where he's going to set it. I asked him when he as well to see where he's going to go, because whether he's going to send it to the speaker or he's going to send it to what's the guy name, or who's the head, Emmanuel, that is name.
He didn't even know where.
The man who had in the opposition to the
Clarence Gar.
To see where we're going to go. But the interesting thing is, there's no way, are you got a political theory here that Mr. Bakaito or Mr. Kofa to Vatican for them to be overthrown? Nonsense. Why would you come here? What the cool you've been drinking today? So I'm even going to dignify it. So
what are you talking to your mouth? Because he don't want
who you've been drinking. But here's the thing I want to talk about today. Something caught my eyes. I listened to the press conference of the director of police, and I think two patrol officers were dismissed, and the senior officer is still not being dismissed.
Bala being dismissed.
Yeah. So the thing our law enforcement is giving up black eyes in our country with all what's going on in our law enforcement. Folks, it is not a bluffing matter. No, seriously, it is. Look, what happened in Nima County? We lost another police officer. 2 police officers fighting over a chicken boom. Eh?
Oh yeah.
Chicken boom.
I thought you didn't know.
You know, when people are talking, you always hear some jab on people talking. That's one of the things. You know, and
but then he want people to gain time to talk.
It's a bad reflection on our security institutions. It's not only the police, the law enforcement department as a whole, but it trickled down to the leadership. I know probably the inspector general is doing well, but who are the people in the various counties? Who are the commanders? The PSU person fighting an individual. Now we lost the officer died from spinal cord injury. What happened? Where are the leadership? Because I know when I was in the service, maybe some people or George are listening to us. Asa Kanga, when he was the deputy, he was the chief of operation. You're not crazy to do this thing. If you're not on duty, you will patrol to make sure. Hold on, Asa Kanga. Okay, you are 185. I was here. 185. Okay? Whether you are from SSO, whether you are from police, all the power law enforcement officer, if you're not on duty, he will call your commander.
I should tell you the problem.
To what?
I should tell you the problem. You're asking what
I will learn. Then you can, I just giving it out there.
So will you please put yourself
These
together
are the integrity of our law enforcement. Where are these people? Where are the leadership today that will take control?
Ooh.
Eh? When Dwayne Allison, when he was the chief of operation.
Hold on 1 minute, Jerry. What Jerry is doing to us here now, putting some historical context on this argument. Go ahead, Jerry.
Mr. Jerry, are you saying that Gregor Kuma is not experienced enough to handle the job?
No, I'm not. I'm that question he experienced. Our question.
But you're saying where are the experienced guys, the guys that used to handle business? So are you saying?
That's what I'm saying. But that's the point I'm making. Where are the leadership with the experience? That's the leadership who you appointed. Who are the county commander? Who are the chief of operation? Who are the deputy chief of operation? These are the people who run. In fact, these are the people who run a day-to-day operation.
So we will come to you.
These are the people. These are the entire police department, the entire law enforcement department. The chief of operation run the department. He's a chief of operation. The chief of operation then you go to the deputy and all this stuff. But the chief of operation run a day-to-day operation. So let's make it clear.
Thank you. Thank you. The show has come to an end. That was the rapid. That was the.
Why would you make our own closing statement?
Oh, yeah. No, there was not a closing statement. No, I just saw something today. I just saw something today, and I just wanted to bring it.
He's the one that closed the whole thing.
Okay, Mr. Toe. Mr. Toe. Can you give us another 5 minutes or 10 minutes to discuss the issue? Maybe
you have a co-chair. Okay, let me go to you, Mr. So the co-chair said, "You see, this is what we have. We have law and order on this show."
Go ahead. He who?
Huh?
Is that how you can make your appointment? You just
the co-chair said we're gonna give you 5 minutes, so we're giving you extra time.
Look, we will not.
But this is your closing now too. Now remember, this is a closing, so close everything together. Because we gotta get out of here in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say, the boy is in your court. Chariot, look, Ketter, this is a classical indication that we have to stand up for the right. With Jerry Bacon and Samson Toe on this network, Jerry Bacon asked the questions, and I'm about to answer the question, where are the leaders? By extension, Jerry Bacon is telling us where is the overall head? Who appointed this guy? Where are the leaders? That's what you get when you get on the vessel with no technician, then everybody on your own to go head to scatter fighting for chicken feet. That's what you get. That's what you get when you have a canoe and you say you're going to use your hand to cross Do River. That's what you get. That is ridiculous. Admit to the fact that changes should be made. And this is exactly what we are speaking to. And for you, the liberal, to sanction voices on the liberal public radio, it is absurd. This is not a CDC platform. This is not Unity Party platform. This, the basis of this network. Yes, you can have your political side, which is good, but everyone should be given the opportunity.
Thank you.
So moving forward, the issue of that Channing phone, where the only phone that can hear certain people, we're going to have an emergency meeting on that.
Thank you. You see, this is the difference between us, the supporter of President Bakai, and that of the CDC and sedition of Wiashin. This is Sister Fatuma. Mr. Toe, don't hurt your head tonight. I myself disappointed in President Bakai. When will he wake up? When will he speak about those small things? So this is what we do. We support, but we will be truthful. We will speak our mind. Whereas sedition, they praise and praise and praise singer. Nothing that government will do is wrong. So let me go to Water Carter. Go ahead, close it. Go for your closing.
So I'm tired of us going back and making reference to President.
2 seconds.
I'm tired of us going back to making reference to President Weah. His term is over. You're voting him out because you say he didn't do the right thing. We got JMB, the rescuer, who came to rescue the people. Yeah, he support us, complaining that their heads are hurting. The men should resolve the problems. Now, the problem that he said, President, we have created, he has not resolved it, but he created his own problem. And if he cannot resolve his own problem and you cannot allow us to speak about it, then I think you're doing him more harm than good. This is the reason why we come on this show, because we are independent, to point out what is unfolding in our country. And unfortunately, hold on, I'm on the floor, Mr. Toll. You can't don't silence my voice. There's a very important voice they're speaking. You know what I'm saying? So I got a blessing.
Jerry, go ahead and wrap it to us.
Why
you mute me.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, come to come play with you. Come here, come to say my point party. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take out. Terry, go ahead. Give us your wrap.
Yeah, I miss you on LBS today. But anyway.
No, I purposely avoided LBS today.
They kick me out.
No, they kicked me out because those two gentlemen, Lobo and
yeah, I see a new format. What's going on?
Noble and Noah Gayson, they got Monday and Wednesday straight to Unity Party to talk about Unity Party, how good they're doing. But I'm not a member of Unity Party. So when I go there, I usually criticize and counterweight their and people are looking at me differently now. So I want to stay away from it.
So wait a minute, is that on a state radio you're talking about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have what they call Unity Party night.
Yeah, even get facts and fiction on the director.
No, it's not that one. Go ahead, Terry. Give us your closing.
Yeah.
Jerry can take us off.
However, but Mr. Bacon stressed a very important point. The only thing is that he was not. Mr. Bacon is a security man. Everything he done wrong for him. So he was speaking.
Okay, Terry. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Bacon. I don't know if you are trying to insinuate that there are more experienced guys, which I want to believe that is, than Gregory, that could handle the police diplomatically. But let me tell you something. I believe in Gregory and I trust him. That anybody you bring to that police, the thing that you're seeing right now will happen. And you know that. I believe you're an experienced person and you know that very well. The police is challenged. And there is something Gregory said today. I listened to Gregory, but I meant to ask you, what specifically that you heard from Gregory that made you to feel indifferent? All right. But I listened to him. He said something that's very important. All right. He said, you have only 5,000 men. And these 5,000 men came from in the community where the crimes are occurring. And you are depending on the 5,000 men to maintain the crime for 4 million people. It's impossible. And he also stressed something very important. He said this is why he need the community. He need to develop relationship with the community, because he discovered that you have to discover the source of the problem before you can solve the problem. Because most of the police guys are in the police that go on to carry on the major crimes and things. The information to carry on the crimes come from right in the community. That the community dwellers can give the police officers, the criminal police officers, information. I believe that what he was trying to say. Before the police can discover that, oh yeah, this person has just come from Europe or this, that they get the money, blah, blah, blah. So if the community can highlight these criminals and these things, I think the problem will be solved. So what he's trying to create is an opportunity where the community will be involved to help the police to solve the problem. But what I really wanted to ask on my closing for Mr. Bacon is that, can you tell me what he cited that agitated you or that made you to feel indifferent? For tomorrow, I'm hoping to see that they will come together. Right now, to be honest with you, I'm beginning to lean on the side of Funati a little bit, because I think that from all what I have seen, even as much as the other time I talk about Fonati is incompetent days that I went back to settle, and I'm beginning to discover, because if it is true that these guys are lying down to LJ and LRJ, that means somebody is paying the bill. And if these guys are doing the thing, that means they are being motivated to do it against their will. That means money is being used. So if money is really being used, then it means that this what the resolution that they wrote against the speaker is not legitimate. It's all being maybe filibuster or so because of it is being used. But I'm hoping to see what will happen tomorrow, and I pray that the honorable man see reason to either do two things: to either resign, or if he want to stay on, he might be able to lobby his colleagues that they will come back and have a quorum. Thank you for your show.
Thank you. Jerry, go ahead and take us home.
Thank you, Terry. See, here's the thing. I listen to him. When it comes to community policing is not just to say, oh, we're going to play, we'll get them back arrest, we'll get them this. No. That's not what community policing. Community policing is trust. We cannot operate without the community. The community, you have to be involved into the community. First of all, the community have to trust the police department. That's the only way we solve crime. The police, you have to. People say live in America here. By the time something happens, you know what to do? They pick up the phone because they have the trust and the respect for the police department. Yeah, what Gregory is fair to realize.
But how do you build that trust?
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, there are certain places that we cannot go. You have the clergies, you have the how do you call it, the rabbi. These are the people you work with. These people. These are different institutions that you work with at the churches. We can't go to the places because they don't trust us. When I say us, because the police officer. So we can go to the church and so let's take for example your church and say, you know what, you're in Brooklyn Park or you're in wherever city you are. We have the refugees are coming to the place, for example, and we cannot commentate them or integrate them into the community for now. But you, as a church leader, we want to come and you see it in your church, you do all the time. You reach out to the church leader, reach out to the people in the community who have influence. That's why it works. First of all, he have to understand. Today we have modern police department. When we talk about 5,000, who are the actual standard of the Liberian National Police? That 5,000 we got surveillance employees. How many surveillance employees do we have in the community? All the 5,000, they are not police officers. Some who got surveillance employees. So the 5,000, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So when he's always say, oh, we got 5,000 or law enforcement officer, no, they're not 5,000 police officers. They're not swaying. These are people who are surveilling. So let me be 5,000.
You can say for security reason you gotta up the number.
Okay, no, but that's what I'm saying. So when you're making this statement, you have to think, because the 5,000 maybe we'll have maybe 1,500, maybe we'll have 800 or 900 surveillance employees within the police department. But here's my point I want to make. It's leadership. You as a leader, it's your responsibility. You right now. It's your responsibility. Anything go wrong in your church, they say that the church. They will not say the church congregation. They will say the pastor. You are responsible. You are the individual who are responsible for the country. You are sworn to report, so you have to have a dedicated people. I understand. As a leader, yes, you take the blame. But what are you doing to solve the problem?
Thank you.
So, okay. Mr. Botia,
I
haven't spoken yet.
Okay, we'll give it. So when it comes to the saga that going out, the Capitol building behind you there, that wait tomorrow. That's it. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock in Liberia already. It's 2 o'clock in Liberia already, or a little bit after 2 o'clock. We'll not wait for another 8 hours.
Yeah.
Then we'll find out what the truth is.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you guys very much.
I did what I wrote about the corruption. I think maybe I sent it in the chat room. Read it. Yeah. What I talk about. I made a recommendation.
Thank you, guys. Mr. Soul, thank you.
But do you know of any other experienced police officer there that can be recommended in place of Gregory? That's what I really meant to ask you.
I think the way I see things, even though I'm not involved into the security apparatus stuff business, but I think Gregory Coleman, I think
This
He's
is
You know
not
what?
a
Let me
FB.
say,
sky high. I think
let me
he's
say
doing
this.
one of
Let me
that.
answer you there, Terry. The same thing that going on when Chris Massacre was there, when I went to Liberia, and when I called our Senator, I was able to meet with her. It's a simple session. Or what is his name? Chris Massacre was the best police. What?
You talking about? You told
I
me
know what you're
before.
talking about. I said I met with the person. I said nobody. I never called nobody. I said I met with the person. So you just select what name you're gonna call. I'm gonna say. And the person told me.
But Jerry, there were only 2 women in the Senate. One of them not died.
Okay. So,
You not told me that Nyombi, so I know why you say you want to forget that you acting like you see how know.
well, you follow. Well, these are the
Another
things we're
wonder.
talking about. Look, there are other people. We got to put other people to the level. We got to put them. There are new people are coming today. There are some of them trained, and there are people who are young people who just coming from school who are also have experience in the area. We have to tap into the thing. That's what it is. You got to give other people responsibility.
So who the
It's-
appeal is going to? Who this appeal is going to? Who is the
appeal go to the director of police? The director of police. You see the director of police. You got to be a pyramid for your subordinate them for them to respect you. Your deputy director. First of all, I have make a recommendation that we need 5 district commissioners.
But Jerry, let me ask you this: with all of these challenges of police, why would anybody want to take on that position anyway?
Oh my God.
For what reason?
Why people want to do it? You want to serve your country. I want to serve my country. I want to serve my country. But here's my recommendation.
But
Here's my
lastly,
recommendation.
Mr. Bacon, before you go, man, please quickly. Do you think Gregory is doing better than Patrick Sulu? Or you think they are the same 6 and 7?
Well,
be honest.
Yeah, be honest. Well,
honest.
I'll agree other than the same.
But I think Patrick, I mean, what's his name? Gregory seemed to be more of an intellectual than Patrick.
I think so too. I think Gregory.
Patrick seemed to be somebody who seemed
aggressive.
To be like a hand-on person.
Yeah, aggressive. But yes, the thing I said today, what I said today, the last time I piece I wrote was, what we need to do is we got 5 commissioners or maybe 4 deputy commissioners that will be able to control the 5 other counties in the southeast. Right. We got 15 counties. At least the commissioner will be there because you see they will be very proactive comparing the all come to the central. By the time central get a game bashing.
Okay.
Yeah, taking people. Hold on, Chief. Can I give one? Let me answer Terry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the crime have been committed. Another police officer kill another police officer for fighting. Maybe it will be manslaughter or whatever charges they want to put in because it will not premeditated. It will be manslaughter or voluntary manslaughter or whatever charge they want to put against it. They're taking police officer from all the way Monrovia. By the time they get to Nima County, the evidence is destroyed and the case is being compromised. So we have to follow this thing, Terry. These are some of the things we are talking about.
Yeah, and I look, liberal. This is a national issue. Okay, so let us cite our own views and opinion. And I think
no. Tell you on Wednesday. When Wednesday comes, you can tell a national issue. Time for I see me like you talking about national issue. I been getting mad. I been I been more than 2 hours now. What national issue? Wednesday you can tell you national issue. Oh, that national issue you're gonna get on.
See you finish your statement.
No, that's okay. I mean, the liberal he's just who he is.
What is it you want to talk about?
No, don't worry about that. I'm okay. I think Jerry is speaking of the issue. I mean, and the government needs to. And I remember those days, the Ghana Bay, these places, they have these different detachments. And I think in order to combat crime, because the police is the first line of defense when it comes to this sort of civil disobedience. You can't easily throw army, and the police they need to equip the police. You can't just have them, we see how the police is sophisticated, and not that that country have money, but you have these corrupt people in the first branch of government, the executive branch of government. They just about themselves, and they think they will be at peace when you have the security apparatus just like a toothless bulldog. How will you take people from Central Monrovia to go respond to crime in Ghana's in Painesville, not to mention Banka, all of those places? There should be a massive recruitment, and I think people, international community, that will help. If they're not just only asking for them to receive the handout, but train these people, equip them. The academy is there. It needs to be reinforced. Jerry Bacon, trained person. It is time for you to go and help the guy you brought into power and start sitting down here. You make recommendation. And Samson told sitting down here every day, the road do this, the road do this. You need to go there. I'm saying that if you guys fail to put hands on what you people brought on us, you are part and parcel of the destruction. And trust me.
What do you mean? Something we brought? You didn't help to bring it in?
I didn't. You didn't give us a chance. You're an other network. You made a decision for the Liberian people. You created a talking point.
But your platform have to bring it, man.
You never allow us to ask the people who and this is why you get when the media decide to be a mouthpiece instead of standing in the middle of the gap to give the electorates the opportunity. Giant side medias were the mouthpiece of these people and everything. Now they're coming us to tell us where have we gone wrong. They need to answer that question, and that question also goes to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. But here's the thing: like take for example, the people using bike to steal. So we need a police to get a bike, to use a bike or whatever we can do, because that's the only means of transportation right now. We don't have cars, so get it. The patrolman get a bike. Let them, that's the only way we can be able to. Because the people use a bike to go, to go make crime. So we need a police people. Let's buy about 10 or 15 or 200 bikes and send it to the country.
Maybe police commission last in 1 week in Morovia.
I wanted to say, even though I'm not a sedition, but the former president today was on the world stage. He made Liberia proud, and I want to recognize that.
With the football game, the honor,
the Ballon d'Or. He presented the Ballon d'Or to the world best player today, and that is one in a million. They don't always happen.
You see that? You see? Samson finished sending a message to him. Wow.
Good night, Jerry.
Yo, bye-bye.
Mr. So, good night as well. Okay. Again, folks, Samson told I want to thank all of you again tonight. When we come here to have the discussion, we have some serious conversation about our folks. And this is what I stated earlier. One of the things that I know about President Baka's supporters, not Unity Party members, President Baka's supporters, we will speak our mind when we see something that is not right. We're not going to go around singing praises and what have you. That's the difference. So again, I want to thank all of you. My Esther, thank you very much. George, thank you very much. Fatima, thank you for joining. We appreciate all of you tonight. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. Let's do it again tomorrow, where hopefully by tomorrow time like this, we will have some information coming from Liberia, and we will have a conversation about that. Thank you very much, and I'll say good night to all of you. Good night, folks.
Thank you.